Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button like it's your Alabama cousin, so it reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one, this woman says she'll never stop snooping through her husband's phone, and she's trying to convince other women that they must do the same. But imagine for a moment the screeches of misogyny and patriarchy from women if a man said that it was fine for men to snoop on their wives' phones. This poor guy, he's probably already in an open relationship and he just doesn't know it yet. A recent study found that 36% of women look through their partner's phones. Moving on, if you're wondering why the Labour government in the UK doesn't want to investigate PDF files, it's probably because their own leadership said it was okay to be with the 10-year-old. This is the government that's currently in charge and it's putting away people for years and years for hateful tweets. They're also saying that abused girls in Rotterdam and elsewhere need to shut their mouths for the good of diversity. Diversity is more important than diddling. Got it. Number three, this single mother says that men are avoiding her because she has a child, and she's wondering if she's doomed to be alone, and if you would actually go on a date with a single mom. I would be surprised if that's not even her kid and she's just boring him because she doesn't want to put her mixed kid in the picture. But I think there are men out there that will date her, but she's just got to wait another 13 years for Junior to move out. Up next, Greta tells the hosts of The View that climate activists must now go beyond legal methods to stop people from burning carbon. So I guess that supergluing oneself to the road doesn't work. Greta is also openly inciting violence to break the law and inciting mobs, yet she won't be arrested for it. People like her in Canada are promoted to become ministers under Trudeau's government. Number five, the socialist president of Honduras threatens to shut down the country's U.S. military base if they deport illegals back to Honduras. Socialists wreck and destabilize their own countries and then export their criminals and misfits to other countries to do the same. Her country's already been normalized, comrade, and it doesn't want its agitators back. How dare you send back our undesirables? Maybe the U.S. should also cut off aid for her country. Moving on, this woman wonders if men dry their faces with the same towel they use to dry their testes with, or if we have a separate ball towel. Someone says that the towel forgets what we did the next day. I've got a separate towel for the poop shoot region, because you don't want to leave streaks on your main towel. I'm also just a little bit of a bastard and leave those poop shoot towels out for guests after I use them on my fudge factory. I just make sure to not shake their hands when they leave. Number 7, M says, ladies, imagine 15 years from now not having any kids, and being a cool wine aunt, going on exotic vacations and having lots of money. Yes, she wants to be the drunk aunt who brings gifts of sadness to every function, getting to enjoy a hedonistic lifestyle with no consequences. She also says that she would have a suspicious amount of money. That means she's probably a regular in Dubai. Either that or she got it from mule smuggling little blue pills for the cartel. Up next, here's a graphic explaining the connection between IQ, income, and wealth. But what did the person with the 72 IQ do making $180,000 a year? Was he just a lucky crypto investor? How about if he was just a modern-day Forrest Gump and just randomly got into the right thing at the right time at random points in his life? Maybe he's a lottery winner or inherited a ton of money from his family. I'm lucky enough not to be found anywhere on this graphic. You do the math. Number 9, in 2024, there were 400,000 anchor babies born. Ah yes, women trapping guys with kids since the beginning of time. Either that or using the babies to remain in the country. The way I understand the anchor babies phenomenon, it's where a woman has one child to make sure her man doesn't leave her. The child anchors the man to her for life through the marriage as well. If it has to do with immigration, then this sort of stuff has to stop before the United States becomes a third world country. Moving on, if you think that AI is disgusting now, then just imagine what the corn is going to look like one day. Maybe that's how they're going to get guys to quit it instead of having to ban it. Then again, the corn might not be all that bad because just imagine the decades of experience between the two of these. As for me, seeing Hillary Clinton smashing would probably turn me into a gay guy. You know that watching that would be enough to make a blind man cry. Number 11, the newish Prime Minister in the UK says he's going to bring 1 million Pakistanis to England to be primary school teachers and work in nurseries. Those are rookie numbers though. He has to work on getting them up. Canada brought in so many South Asians in the last year alone and we have almost half the population of England. But Keir Starmer does have something in common with Justin Skippy Trudeau. They're both puppets of the globalist agenda. Up next, the guy that tried to end Trump, the guy that destroyed his Cybertruck with him inside of it, and the New Orleans attacker all have one thing in common. They all served or visited the same military base, Fort Bragg. Maybe the Manchurian Candidate and MKUltra is real. Congress should demand an inquiry as to what's going on there. I'm sure that no one at Fort Bragg is going to be bragging about having all three of these guys there. Number 13 is a letter found in the pocket of a dead WW2 soldier, telling his sweetheart that they'll get married and the earth will grow flowers like her and her womb will carry the most beautiful girl into the universe. This proves that men are the romantics of the species. And unfortunately for this fool in love, she was probably cheating on him before he ever left for the front. She was probably stringing along at least 3 or 4 servicemen and collecting their pay for safekeeping while they were fighting. Moving on, here are the 2 paths that women can take: traditionalism or gynocentric feminism. Neither of these paths leads to fertility rates that are above replacement levels. It's so over. Many women choose the path on the left only after excessively sampling the path on the right. And the hardest path in life is the one that few others take. The paths that are usually given to you that you have to choose from are usually the losing ones. Number 15, here's the difference between the original film and the Disney remake. We might as well call it Breakback Baby Oil. Who else doesn't want to see either of these things? I also think this is the first time that Disney made an actual accurate remake. But I definitely think I'd watch the Netflix version remake of this. Up next, are you willing to date this gargantuan thought? She's plus size, vaxxed, bi, and socialist, as well as believes in BLM among other things. And she also believes that with your body it's her choice and that you need to get a vasectomy. Not to mention that the best red flag of all is her pronouns, which are she and them. Does that mean she has multiple personalities or something? What kind of simp do you have to be to give someone like this the time of day? Number 17, why is she so bad with her finances? She was forced to sell her dream car after paying $40,000 a loan in interest over 3 years. And now she has no car and still owes GM another $74K. If she was still married, maybe she wouldn't actually be in this financial pickle. Of course she would still have the car, and he would be the one working overtime to pay for it, while she cheated on him because he wasn't spending enough time with her. Typical. Moving on, there was a study done a while back showing how you can use magnets on the brain to weaken people's faith in God and change attitudes towards immigration. Magnets shut down the threat processing center of the brain. Maybe this is what smartphones are really for, to make you mentally and spiritually dumb. You just know that if the elites could cancel out people's disgust over child love using this technology, they probably would. Number 19, this school teacher in Chicago owns 64 single-family homes and explains how he's using real estate to achieve his financial independence. He's a modern-day feudal lord using people to pay off his debt to the banks, and we're supposed to celebrate this. Guys like him probably bribe politicians to prevent the housing market from imploding. I hope that Bitcoin demonetizes investment properties one day and he gets wrecked. This is just neo-feudalism at this point. Up next, is this a conspiracy? That any woman showing interest in you is an agent of the state. Yes, the gynocentric state trying to extract your wealth and status for itself. These days they pretend to have interest in you so they can friend zone you for free attention. They see you the way that you see a free ammo pickup in a first-person shooter game. Also, who does this woman think she is? A cat. Because it looks like she's in a cardboard box. Number 21, here's the difference between a Cuban sandwich in America and a Cuban sandwich in Cuba. I've been to Cuba and they have sandwiches, but they're usually reserved for Canadian and European tourists, while the locals go hungry. But this is still inaccurate because there probably wouldn't even be a plate or table in the bottom picture, and the wall would actually have holes in it. If you want to lose weight but can't afford a Zempic, then move to Cuba and live with the locals. Moving on, are women gaslighting us when they say that toxic masculinity is the problem, when 43% of boys are raised by single mothers and 78% of teachers are female? So it's actually a lack of masculinity that's the real problem. But single mothers don't want to take accountability and the blame for raising way more criminals than the average 2-parent household. In reality, it looks like mothers getting the custody of their kids after divorce is not actually in the best interest of the kid. Number 23, looks like Greta has changed her grift. She's no longer interested in protesting climate change, but now protests against Israel. Conservative parties are taking over huge chunks of the West, and she's hoping to cash in on conservatives that don't like Israel and wants to get money from them. That's what I think is going on here. Either that or she's embracing her Germanic heritage. Up next, Canada's unlocked a new level of discrimination as a museum has race-based admission, with Indigenous people getting in for free. Of course, to compensate, the other groups will probably have to pay higher prices. tell me that Canada is racist without telling me. But I wonder why the other oppressive groups like the blacks, gays, and Muslims haven't complained about this wanting to receive the free admission as well. Also, do they have to show proof, or can they just say they're related to Elizabeth Warren's tribe? Number 25 and the last one, is this who Sydney Sweeney is dating these days? God Sod here says that it was only a business meeting. Do you believe him? Obviously this is AI, but if it was real, it would be quite the serious meeting because it looks like he actually combed his hair for a change. But if it were real, then she can most certainly do business with me anytime. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and subscribe to our links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.